Good Sunday morning, Roger at Wuthering Heights. Well, gusty gradient southeasterly winds are continuing in progress right now. We've had a few trees reported down on wires, for example, some outages across parts of southern New England where the pressure gradient is very, very tight, and they're getting a free flow coming in off the ocean, so it's really slamming these coastal areas of generally eastern, southeastern New England. However, we are seeing some power outages now across parts of mainly Rutland County, a little bit into Bennington County, where we were thinking it would be. Downsloping winds are continuing to take place right now and maxing out later this morning, and then things will slowly begin to fall off this afternoon. We have full tree canopies as well, so this is an unusual situation out of season. It's not typical to see gradient winds with full tree canopies. Happens once in a great while, and this is one of those situations. Area of low pressure in the upper levels here. This is the surface low that is beginning to fill just a little bit. This is a kind of a conveyor belt that moves across the region, and with the strongest winds, and of course a lot of moisture and some terrain influences on that moisture, drying out a little bit east or west of the Green Mountains, and locally some downsloping winds, and that reduces the precipitation. And just like it would on the opposite end there, upsloping is causing a little bit of extra enhanced precipitation, and we're expecting this to continue through the morning and then gradually begin to taper off in the afternoon to a little bit more showers. So these yellow lines, low pressure in the upper levels, and at the surface, this is a surface area of low pressure here in the bluer lines. So it's a little bit almost vertically stacked, but what's happening is we're starting to see formation of an area of low pressure, and this is going to be taking over and then riding into the Bay of Fundy, the Gulf of Maine, and as it does so, it's going to slack the pressure off. So a little bit later on in the day, we're going to see this area of slack pressure begin to shift to the north and across all of New England, cutting down our winds, and also lifting a lot of the precipitation forcings off to the north and east of us as well, hence the showery activity. So the HRRR model, the high-resolution rapid refresh, shows where the strongest winds are. These winds are basically capable of tree limb damage here in the lighter sort of yellows and oranges. This does extend a little bit further to the north into parts of Addison County, perhaps even Chittenden County. Something we'll have to watch, but I don't think the winds will be too strong except over a very narrow area. But you can see the maximums there, roughly 10 o'clock. This is 11 o'clock. So in this zone here, around 10 o'clock, it looks like things are going to be blowing pretty fiercely across our local western slopes. This continues sort of pulsing off and on as it looks right now into, that's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock we start to die out as the main mechanism lifts off to the east and becomes more of a problem for coastal down east Maine. European model shows basically it's been right on the money. This is valid 8 o'clock this morning. And you can see that zone of lighter greens there in south central Vermont, western slopes of the greens, southern Vermont, and then it extends up. This would be valid at 8 o'clock this evening. Still blowing pretty good, but below thresholds, but in the vicinity, and then things slacken off remarkably as this area of low pressure takes over and then tracks out of the region. That'll end our precipitation. We're gradually wind it down anyway, and it will definitely end our wind event. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights.